The story begins with two best friends, strict and cautious Katie, and free-spirited Sloane, eagerly preparing for a trip out of town. They've signed up to work for a month at Eco-Field Organic Farms, hoping to save enough money for a shopping spree in New York City. The next morning, Katie's uncle Jason, a police officer, picks them up. Before heading to the farm, the girls spend a night at his place, which he shares with his girlfriend. While getting settled, Sloane suggests they use fake names while in town for fun. She dubs herself Heather, and Katie goes with Ripley. The following day, Uncle Jason drops them at the station to catch a bus to the farm. Ever the protective cop, he advises them to create a safety protocol, a code word to be included in every message. Not just that he wants them to send code words following the alphabet, one per day. The first word? Apple. After Uncle Jason drives off, the girls realize they have an hour before the bus arrives. They head to a nearby cafe to pass the time. Almost immediately, they attract the attention of two local men and end up sharing a table. Using the fake names they'd chosen, the girls introduce themselves as Heather and Ripley. The men, who claim to be brothers, introduce themselves as Jed and Lucas. Soon, the brothers offer them a ride to the farm. Katie hesitates, her instincts warning her, but gives in after catching Sloane's pleading expression. They hop into the men's blue truck, but things take an unsettling turn. Instead of stopping at the farm, Jed drives right past it, leaving the girls puzzled. Eventually, the truck pulls up to a house, where a woman, introduced as the brothers' mother, greets them and invites them in for tea. Hoping it's just a harmless detour, they follow her inside. Katie receives a message from her uncle and quickly replies, using their secret safe word, a sign that she's okay. Meanwhile, the women are served pie and tea, both of which, in hindsight, they probably should have refused. Their vision starts to blur. The tea was drugged. Panic sets in as Katie and Sloane stumble toward the door, but they don't get far. Jed and Lucas knock them out cold and drag their bodies back inside. The next morning, the girls wake up in a daze, terrified and chained deep within the woods. Jed appears and calmly announces that this is their new home. They're given the bare essentials: clothes, a bed, and a toilet enough to keep them alive. Later, both girls are seen dressed when a new threat arrives: Jed's boss, Boris. He takes Katie's phone and scans it, looking for clues. That's when he realizes they used fake names. He also questions the meaning behind the word apple in Katie's last message. Pressed for answers, the girls admit it's a safety word sent to her uncle. As if things weren't bad enough, just when Katie and Sloane prepare to bathe using rigged-up outdoor showers, the town's sheriff storms in gun drawn. But he's no savior. He's part of the operation, a predator hiding behind a badge. He's there to assault one of them. After the sheriff's horrific act, a trembling Katie is comforted by Sloane. Meanwhile, miles away, Uncle Jason senses something is wrong. Katie repeated yesterday's safe word, a warning he can't ignore. Deep in the woods, Jed and Lucas greet a new visitor called Scruffy Guy, who drags Sloane inside the trailer. Unsurprisingly, Scruffy Guy is a dangerous lunatic. Meanwhile, Uncle Jason calls the workplace and learns Sloane and Katie never arrived. Alarmed, he rushes to find them. Another suspicious man arrives. Jed and Lucas quickly cover the girls' heads. This time, a figure known as Pig Mask Dude snatches Sloane and hauls her inside. Later, it's Katie's turn to comfort a visibly shaken Sloane. Though the details aren't shown, Sloane's trauma is deeper than before. Next, Uncle Jason confronts the corrupt sheriff at his office. It's revealed Jason isn't just a cop, he's an FBI agent. He suspects trouble because Katie reused a previous code word. Back in the woods, the sheriff warns the kidnappers that Katie's uncle is FBI and exposes their fake safe word. To keep the operation secret, Boris orders Jed to kill both women and dispose of their bodies. Unaware, Katie secretly listens to their conversation. Meanwhile, her FBI uncle visits the cafe where he last dropped her and Sloane off. He questions the barista, who vividly recalls the truck they left in. The following day, Katie warns Sloane that the kidnappers plan to kill them. Soon after, Jed and Lucas arrive with Scruffy Guy, leaving him behind to guard the women. Seizing the moment, Katie seduces him and tears his throat out with her bare teeth. They break free from their chains. Just as the sheriff appears, likely intending to kill them, Katie and Sloane steal his car. They speed into town and stop at a hardware store to arm themselves. They ask the cashier about Boris, the man with the blue truck, and he confirms knowing him. Elsewhere, Uncle Jason investigates. At the town's car insurance office, he pretends to report an accident involving a blue truck, asking for its owner. Meanwhile, Boris returns home, unaware Katie and Sloane have followed him. They ambush him with nail-studded tennis balls, severely wounding him. Begging for mercy, Boris offers money, but Uncle Jason arrives at the house. Inside, Katie and Sloane interrogate Boris about Pig Mask Dude. When he refuses, they kill him by stabbing a makeshift spear into his rear. Uncle Jason finds Boris dying, but the women have vanished. Jason hears engines roaring and bolts outside. Katie and Sloane speed away. Jason rushes Boris to the hospital, but it's too late. The sheriff later tells him Boris didn't survive. Worry growing, Jason tries calling Katie's phone. The sheriff, realizing his cover is blown, pulls out his gun. Katie and Sloane reach a church and discover Pig Mask Dude is actually the town's priest. Sloane storms inside to confront her attacker. With Katie's help, they overpower him. As they drive off, they seem free. But when they stop, it's revealed the priest is chained behind the truck. They douse him in gasoline and set him ablaze before leaving. Though Katie and Sloane appear strong, Uncle Jason is held captive by the sheriff, who's also imprisoned 2 young women. Luckily, Katie and Sloane return to save them. They tie up the sheriff and force him into a deadly game of Russian roulette. Begging for mercy, the sheriff is silenced by Katie's final, crushing blow. Katie and Sloane free the other women, urging them to rescue Uncle Jason. When he asks who killed the sheriff, the women stay silent, grateful for their salvation. Next, Katie and Sloane confront Jed and Lucas's mother, drugging her just as she had drugged them. They drag her to the basement, where Jed is bound and gagged. They brutally beat him to death with baseball bats as she's forced to watch. Then they bring her to Lucas, also restrained. Instead of killing him outright, they hand him a bat and force him to strike his own mother. When he refuses, they shoot him and stage it as suicide, planning to pin the murders on him. Desperate, the mother offers money, but Katie kills her with a lawnmower. In the final scene, Uncle Jason picks up Katie and Sloane. Time has passed. They arrive at the airport, excitedly heading to New York City.